Well, watching the Supers like, let's see what the draft looks like here. Let's see what happens.
You're telling me, and I was 2 out of 10 and then 4 out of 10. So 6 out of 20. It's been a up and down last couple of weeks. But yeah, I honestly, we can make predictions. We were doing a lot of, 15-minute challenger predictions over at the Kesper Cup. I think that similar feelings for this one for me, Wolf. I would not flip-flop if I could, just because the same reasons I thought DNS were going to win before still stand now, even if Nongshim have proven to be a stronger opponent than I expected. As we are getting into Game 3. Qiyana was banned last game in the second phase, but still potential to be picked in this one.
Absolutely. Poppy going to be banned again, but also Diable's Lucian, which I think, given the engaged pool thinning out quite heavily here, with no Nautilus, no Leona, feels like a very strong ban. Diable loves to play Lucian. Ryze will be banned again, this time by the Supers, as the Bard will go through in this first phase this time. Game 1 almost got through it, but was banned in the second. See what they want to first pick here. Ryze felt like a pretty strong potential first pick, but because they banned it, they will not be able to play it in this situation. Could just be Elise. No, Elise's already been played. What is he going to first pick? This is kind of awkward. You obviously you didn't get to choose this. Nongshim chose second pick, but with the Ryze ban, it feels like you put yourself in a weird place here.
Yeah,
okay, Naafiri.
Rumble was banned last game. It's not banned this time, but if you just pick it first, that's not a good feel either, as we have found a lot of answers into that pick over the course of time here.
Yeah, there's no Jace available, so maybe they do play a Rumble draft. It is Kingen after all. Nongshim RedForce on the other side.
It's just a lot of the big CC junglers are gone or banned, and Mbessa,
Wukong,
still
Annie.
Available.
Nongshim
Annie
embracing.
They're
a Ryze group team now. They're not a Legend group team like last year. It's time to pull out the El Clasico.
The original Ryze group strategy.
I always felt like Annie was trying to be a representation of Little Red Riding Hood in terms of design. Wukong even has the red hood.
Oh, this is not Ryze group.
That's not.
You have to aim your Scout of the Week.
That's not Wukong Annie. That's a little different. That's a little tricky from Scout.
Yeah.
It is a blind Syndra as well, but there is no CC on this Naafiri, so you aren't necessarily going to get punished with your lane aggression as easily. Depends on what gets picked up here for Clozer, though.
Yeah. Remember, Diable was the guy who played bot Aatrox, right? So he could play bot Syndra too. We'll have to wait and see how that flexibility goes. But yeah, Akali's going to be locked in for Clozer. And Rumble.
There's no setup for the Equalizer in this draft right now, but it is a strong pick in isolation, and they can potentially get that setup to Peter. But like I said before, a lot of the CC is down. There's no Camille, there's no Vi, there's no, Nautilus or Leona, which is why I think Nongshim RedForce avoided the Rumble pick in its initial outset. See what this final pick will be here. Just a counter pick for Kingen, you have to expect. Is he just going to play Ornn? We scaling? No. Get the Alistar here for Lehends.
Well, I guess this time, if you find yourself running into 3 people, you have a way to actually protect yourself.
Kalista, Renata, very scary. Ashe also scary because it's a form of CC, which they currently do not have any of. So they take that one away first. And on the other side, I guess you just protect the Rumble pick. Maybe you ban some tanks away if that's what you're afraid of. We don't know what Diable is playing yet, so it's a little bit scary to go full topside protection here, but they are at least starting with the Cassante, and they may ban the Mbessa next. Mbessa follows up really well on Syndra and Wukong.
And Alistar.
Is there going to be a Kalista ban here? Banning the Nico, which is a Peter classic, and it is one of Alistar's worst enemies in the bottom lane, so that makes sense, but there's a lot of picks left available they can play in this bottom lane.
Yeah, I'm not sure they've protected the Alistar enough. I'm just not sure about the Alistar pick in that spot in general. Ambessa, the ban, makes sense as we were both kind of expecting that. So what do you play into the Rumble now as well?
Is it the Ornn and a scaling pick here for Diable? He's going to have to get out of the lane, though. Yorick is going to be the option Kingen's looking for here. I'm nervous about Nongshim's draft because they have a Wukong. And that means that if you don't have lane prio, it can be a little bit tricky to fix that. The Yorick will get a little bit of power, but it'll take some time before you can actually start controlling that lane. So are they just going to play the Kalista lane? That doesn't feel very good, Renata, into this draft. So maybe they do something else. Xayah into Wukong has always been one of my least favorites because you're going to get stunned anyways. But they go for the Rakan here, which they needed the engage desperately. They now have a large form of it in this Rakan with the charms to potentially set up equalizers.
What's this guy playing?
Sivir.
Sivir Alistar is the bottom lane.
Well, playing Alistar made it tougher for deokdam to lock Sivir here. And now you have a lot of wave clear. You've got really good scaling. And because their engage isn't that good, it isn't very consistent here for DN SOOPers, you do kind of get to just play aggressively. You know, the times we've seen Diable get caught in this series are going to be pretty tough to happen in this draft, especially when he's got a Wukong and an Alistar to help protect him. And even the Yorick Ghoulie wall could be a little bit frustrating to deal with if you're trying to get on top of the Sivir. They don't have CC that much, but they have a lot of burst. They have the Akali. And if we know Clozer, we've been watching a lot of Clozer recently, and this is one of his favorites for our all-time. They have the Naafiri that could just get on top of the Sivir that's trying to kind of kite away. Ricochet. It's all about whether you can get ahead and get that burst damage. If the Akali doesn't come online, if the Naafiri isn't successful, if the Wukong gets his ult up without any problems in the early game, I don't like this draft here for the DN SOOPers, but that's a lot of qualifiers for a team that have had great early games. That's been where they've been strongest.
It's not the hot dog skin. Once again, Wolf. So we'll see how that fares for Sharvel on the first pick Naafiri for him as he controlled all of Game 2. We'll see if he can do it again here in Game 3.
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
Game number 3 in Rise Group. It has not been the trend, Wolf. The last 4 matches we've had were all 2-0s in Rise Group. And it was actually the Legend Group that was kind of going the distance and bringing us to Game 3s more often than the Rise Group, at least last week. But these two, especially because I feel like Nongshim have stepped up today compared to what we saw on Saturday last week against DNS. You know, it's a lot closer than I expected.
Really looking to be a competitive one. It was an abrupt end to that series last time around. Everyone remembers Diable's build and how strange it was, and Kingen's TP and how strange it was. Exhaust.
Right, the flash knockup going to come in here. deokdam just kind of walks away, presses Ghost. And, I mean, this is one way to try to put on pressure if you are Alistar.
3 summoners for 2, but it gets them level 2. It gets them control of the lane. You know, rarely do you see the Alistar actually get that advantage. Gets level 2 first. Like, that is pretty hard to do in most matchups. He's going to look for a Hex Flash. Yeah, they don't care.
He has combo at level 2, so good respect there from deokdam just to realize that and to play it safely. Peter's been good about hitting most of his Gleaming Quills. Helps that Lehends is kind of walking directly at him, but that does mean a little bit more sustain for deokdam. But yeah, as you mentioned, control the lane totally in favor of Diable and Lehends early on because of that play.
Yeah. Usually with Alistar at level 1, you have to, you know, you really have to use your head. But in this case, it was just a play without the...
Like when you headbutt them?
Yeah, exactly. But this time he actually just used his mind and made a really small, hard and tricky play with the flash there. They committed a lot of summoners, but got him level 2, got him a little bit of control. Those are 0 and 3 on this Akali, which, if you're going to the narrative we were just talking about, looks bad, but it is a team that has 3 wins this season. So you know, it's a bit of a team issue in that one more than the Akali issue. This is going to be a tough matchup into the Syndra in the early game, but he's so far handling it pretty well.
Didn't he also get 3 solo kills against Roamer?
That
couple
sounds
of
right.
weeks ago, and
That
then
sounds
on the Akali, and then they lost that game? That's
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, actually that did. Yeah, I remember that now.
I guess that was the game 2 of that series, because DNS did win the series. Sharvel picked up the POM after they won games 1 and games 3. As we got some action down on the bottom side, and actually because Peter goes in, kind of ruins the play here for Sponge, especially because Diable now is pretty low. They see Sponge on the bottom side of the map, and now Sharvel's just going to move in, put down a ward, maybe look for a play in mid.
Diable's very low on mana. Sponge has left, but I think
No
they're more
scan of
interested
the
in mid.
week, and a bit of damage certainly going to come through here. The scout gives the thumbs up, but he has to flash, and he just TP'd back here.
Yeah, he just lost his TP right before this play. The timing couldn't have been worse for him. And it's not going to be game-breaking, but it is very frustrating. And all the tempo for the Syndra is now just completely gone after that moment there. So a lot of extra vision on the top side of the map now for DNS as well. deokdam and Peter really wanted to try to make something of this. Very volatile moment here. No level 6 for either player yet. Clozer's trying to make a roam play. Has so much vision here on the bottom side. They have that scuttle and the ward on the entrance, but he's just going to go around.
But, I mean, they double pinged it. They knew that Clozer was on the move. And now, I mean, he's level 5, so it's not the most threat, but Lehends is super low. Clozer can't get in, and he doesn't want to use Flash to do it. I feel like a Flash Q just nets him the kill, but he elects not to.
Like I said, early game Alistar, sometimes level 1, sometimes level 4. Got to use your head. He knew. He knew he was safe, Valdes. He wasn't worried. As this is going to be an annoying moment here where the Force of Will helps Sponge secure those Raptors away from Sharvel. And the race to level 6 is on. Wukong hasn't been able to make a big impact yet, but potentially we'll be back for that in just a few camps' time. Equalizer going to be expended here to clear this wave. It's a very quiet early game. You know, we've had a few fights or skirmishes, but nothing actually leading to a death on either side.
Yeah, we've had quieter early games, but this one is not the most interesting. Lehends does deny the cannon, actually, so Clozer kind of unfortunate there. I think he just wants to stay at level 6 and become a champion a little bit, because he wasn't really before that. Does hit level 6 now. And a big roam up from Peter and Sharvel. They want to get this Scuttle Crab if possible. There's total control on the top side of the map, though, for Nongshim.
Yeah, they've just continued to play through this top side. Now, this is a bit scary. Kingen is going to have to potentially flash with the wall. He's going to look for the fight
very
instead.
nice shuriken here from Clozer. Gets away from the Alistar. He's getting pretty low, though. Sponge gets in, just smites it away, and now DuDu, awkward spot, has to flash out of the pit. This is Guy of the Week comes in, but that is a Rakan. And he does get away easily.
I thought they were going to be able to follow up on that aggression from Clozer a little bit more. I thought that the Kingen was potentially going to have to flash there to get out of the pit, but the chase goes on to the Alistar, gets away.
He is going to die to Peter. First blood, supportal combat solo kill for Peter over Lehends.
So he did get away on the initial fight. Was able to escape there. Got the faster back, he's got TP. But there's nowhere for him to TP to right now. All right. It doesn't matter that much, actually. It's a gold lead gone here now for Nongshim, but it's a kill over to a Rakan, so... And there isn't much like the Alistar was going to be trying to do on the map at that moment, so I guess it doesn't really matter that much. Sometimes you just got to use your head. Just going to keep going with this for Lehends with the decisions he's made this game.
Really the theme of this game number 3, at least.
Yeah.
It's really good micro on the maiden, by the way, from King, and he gets in, does a ton of damage to DuDu, gets it out, and kind of pulls it back at the perfect time so that it's never in danger of dying, even to the equalizer. So Kingen's definitely showing a lot of prowess in this matchup so far.
I think this game hasn't really started yet. You know, we're looking at Clozer just got his ultimate for that first fight, didn't get the kill or anything, but that was the first moment he could have actually done something. The fight was broken up. We're looking at, obviously, a Sivir here. That's going to be much more powerful, much more relevant way later on in this game. Kingen's gotten past the point of the early game where the Rumble's very annoying and now has control. Clozer, like I said with the ultimate, same story here, but haven't been able to turn that into anything just yet, but they need to. Oh, that was a great backflip there. Because this Clozer Akali needs to actually have some kills under its belt when we get to the mid game. Otherwise, I just don't think that DNS can win this game.
See, Sharvel starts this up, but Sponge might be the one that finishes it with all that pressure from top. I mean, you look at DuDu's items right now, it's nowhere near what Kingen has, but they're still going to respect the roam up from actually deokdam, so they kind of have to clear it out. They got the one grub, and they say, you know what, that's good enough.
Like you said, deokdam is leaving. A lot of damage on the scout. The matter in this particular moment, but he's actually a ghost for a potential punish.
deokdam's angry nowadays, man. He's just always looking for these kills. He got one auto off. So, not a kill. But he was looking. And now he got everybody up on the top side. As a lot of chase here between the Naafiri and the Rakan. The damage not necessarily coming through. Peter trying to tank this one up, and Kingen lives against 3.
Kingen surviving turret dives has been the story of a few of these games here today. Not playing Kled this time.
Did DuDu not have his equalizer? Because he has it now.
I'm not sure, actually. We might have to roll back the clock on that one to check, but King wasn't that low, but definitely could have helped in the longer play there and helped prevent Kingen from getting back to his turret. deokdam playing fast and loose again with Lehends coming over. Exhaust's committed.
Yeah, and he still has Featherstorm, so he's totally fine against Lehends, who's just there to peel. And just trading ults, but you know, deokdam eventually gets the trade of the exhaust for his own ghost, just not in the same play.
Yeah, they do back away. Starting to wonder if they were really going to start stacking players into this fight. I mean, Lehends is like 1 minion off of actually having his ultimate available. He needs that so desperately to fight properly in this game, and looks like he's going to back before getting it. Unfortunately for him, wouldn't have had it for that fight without any help or experience gained. We're teetering on a knife's edge in this game. You know, both of these comps are so volatile. I think that's why we're seeing so many, I think this is good, I'm backing away, moments in this game because, again, Clozer gets fed, disaster. Nongshim get ahead, huge problem. Diable gets a few kills, you kiss your series goodbye. So DNS, I mean, just playing this very cautiously. It's not that they don't have scaling in their draft, it's just a lot tougher to set it up because they don't have a lot of CC. So there's an Alistar, a Wukong, scatter on the other side. So if you fall behind, they have all these ways to keep you at arm's length as well as potentially just catch you on rotation.
Yeah. It's really fun to watch mid lane because Clozer doesn't even have any boots at the moment, and yet he's just dodging everything. So really showing that he understands how to play this matchup, which is just dodge everything. If you get hit by a bunch of Qs and orbs being thrown at your face, you're not going to have a fun time. But Clozer, even though he's behind on CS, he is keeping up until he's eventually a threat on that first item. It looks like top lane has also evened out a little bit.
Yeah. If you go boots into Syndra on Akali, it costs you so much of your power spike. You just can't really, I'm talking about upgraded boots really more than just boots, but you know, you want to rush that first item, and he's getting closer to it. On a knife's edge still this game, every single moment. He's trading waves, but constantly threatening is Peter here. He has flash ult. Sharvel's coming over. Lehends is finally level 6. And Diable has spell shield, so it's really tough to force this.
They want to go for the Peter engage and catches both of them, and Diable trying to get away. The knockup is huge from Lehends. Diable survives for so long. That's going to be the end of Peter, and now Sponge is making his way down to the bottom side of the map. Sharvel's going to go back in, gets that shield, and the pullback is huge from deokdam as he shuts down the play and bot.
Scout also just walking up here.
Ooh, okay. Should be able to throw in and unleash power. The Shuriken is going to miss. Clozer with the R2 just gets away, and Scout just kind of holds his ground. He's fine.
If he got hit by that backflip there and the Shuriken connected, might have actually been a bit of a scary moment, but this here is just Peter surprising them. There's no spell shield from Diable. It's just too fast for them to react. And Lehends has a really nice interrupt here, but it's just too late. And deokdam can't just use his ultimate. Peter just holds the turret because he knows if he dies, it doesn't matter. And then they instantly use the reset of the ult here onto Sponge, who can't get back access with Lehends. And honestly, I don't think there was much Lehends could have done for him there anyways. He was just already committed to try to save the play. He's super impressed, but also surprised that that play worked. But it was just such a quick one that Diable just couldn't press the button fast enough.
We're going to have a TP in here. They want to set up a play on a Kingen, who does have his flash. Peter trying to set up yet another one. Doesn't have the quickness just yet, but he gets that knock up. There's the flash at a Kingen, and maybe second time's the charm up on the top side. DuDu able to tank up quite a bit, but Peter doesn't have the damage himself. He has to get out of there.
And Gunga's going to, after this, he's like, look, if there's one thing we learned today is stop trying to kill Kingen in the top lane. It's not working. There's a lot of resources committed to that. Even deokdam was rotating up, so Diablo's going to get some extra time here in the mid lane to grab a plate. Doesn't change the fact that he is significantly far behind in terms of gold right now. Sponge getting his ultimate up right now. There's no equalizer. It's a very fine line that Nongshim are walking if they want to commit to this, but I think they might have enough, even without the wave here. It's taking too long with it, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah. As you've said this whole game, it's really been on a knife's edge, and now DuDu's pretty low. They're trying to get in, but the peel is there for Peter. See that the follow-up is not there on Peter's CC, though, because, of course, he was super low. So just kind of helping them away from the top lane. Kingen's going to get some solo time with this turret now.
deokdam was also in a pretty powerful position there. They don't actually get the punish with the Xayah rotating up, but they get the exact same punish that Diable got moments ago back onto him now, with deokdam having that mid-prio with the rotation up. Will be some plate gold going over. Scout TPs to the bottom lane, so he now has a TP disadvantage over Clozer. DNS have a lot of small advantages in this game right now. I wouldn't say it's enough necessarily for this Akali, but looking much better.
The tempo here on the play of the Drake might actually favor Nongshim, but we do have a TP back in from Peter.
And for Clozer as well, he gets back to controlling that bottom lane. They can look for a sandwich here.
Yeah, he has a gunblade too. I mean, Sponge has already gotten this pretty low. The exhaust onto Sponge doesn't do a whole lot, but yeah, I don't think they get there on time, so that is going to be the Drake, and it's Chemtech Soul.
Clozer also really far up now.
Sponge is right here. Clozer just going to try to ult to get away and is successful.
I was very surprised by that, but I don't think he should have been. His face said that he was surprised anyways, as Sponge will Cyclone to no avail. It's a trade of ultimates. Kind of favors the Akali in some senses. I think without Peter's ultimate, even though the Rakan TP in, I think not contesting that dragon was absolutely the right call. Setting up a slow dive here. 4 people in the bottom lane against one Akali with no ult.
Yeah, I mean, they're just going to get on top of him, but the ult does not go into Clozer from the Syndra. As now they use it onto the Feather-storming Xayah. That is not the dive you're looking for Nongshim, as now the Feathers do an insane amount of damage, and Sponge is going to be killed as well. Clozer survives, and yeah, just the rotation, the timing for DNS, seeing the dive coming, and they're there to catch it perfectly.
This is the kind of game that's so frustrating if you're Nongshim. Like, so many of their plays this game have been almost excellent, and then they just keep getting out-rotated. They're not able to make their plays fast enough. Now, Kingen's getting a ton of money off of this play, but deokdam's stopping backs. And that's really annoying here on the bottom side, so the Akali will also be fed a lot of money on this one. And a Yorick that's 1,000 gold ahead can be scary. Kind of situational, whether or not that matters, but he did get all of the side lane advantage he was looking for. And we'll have his teleport back up pretty soon. Now, DNS, because they stopped those backs, get a huge tempo advantage here on the top side of the map on this Herald. So watch how this breaks out here. Initially, Lehends goes on to Clozer. They get the knock-up, but he flashes left. They have no follow-up here. He uses his Shroud. Peter's ult's back up now, so he gets the ult onto Sponge, gets the knock-up onto Diable. deokdam's free-firing here. Lehends can't help because he took like 4 turret shots to try to make that initial dive work. It just took, like I said before, way too long.
Yeah, I really did. And again, the timing from DNS was very nice. And even a flash collected at the very end there by Peter onto Scout. So there's no flash for Scout. And your only peel is really Alistar unless Sponge is going to sit on top of you. So got to be careful about the follow-up engage from Peter onto Scout.
Peter's having such a good game on this Rakan. He's 100% KP. He's the real major form of engage, the only one who could set up fights or peel, and he's been doing both. You know, he's setting up fights, but defending the dive exactly where he needs to be at all times. Kingen will finally, I think, get the second turret with all of this wave and ghouls and a maiden, surely.
And the whole team's here again. Yeah, still Akali, by the way. You got to be careful, but no. They're not going to be. We got a TP coming in. Clozer trying to keep them around. It's now Peter looking for the engage. The knockup is perfect from Lehends. Equalizer gets some value, but I don't know if they have the damage. As Buns looks for the kill on a Sharvel. Immediately gets taken out by deokdam. The chase is on to Kingen. And so that'll be a couple of kills for the DNS carries.
Diable isn't there. He just isn't there. You know, they needed that damage, I think. And it's the same story. Again, they almost were able to turn that into a successful dive. It's an even trade. But I think Nongshim were looking for so much more than that. It's like Diable might be able to get this turret, not quite able to. Doesn't want to fight fed deokdam. Extremely fed deokdam, by the way. About to buy IE deokdam as third item here in this game. So Peter once again over here. Now Lehends does have a really heroic play here. I mean, that couldn't have been a better knockup. Like, that was actually kind of insane with the Cyclone following. But they don't have damage. Because right now, Diablo's in base. He's not here. They don't have enough damage. deokdam has the fast rotation. deokdam is fed, but he has been way more where he needs to be this game, I think, than Diable has so consistently. And that's a big problem.
Yeah, it just feels like DNS have a better read on when these fights are going to break out and how they're going to win them and what advantages they have, like the TP advantage there. Scout was like 10, 15 seconds away from his TP when that fight broke out in the bottom lane, so yeah, it's pretty rough. We do have this Chemtech Drake about to spawn in 30 seconds. It's not a back-breaking soul, but certainly one, as with Double Dragon, you'll want to pick up if you are Nongshim for your Yorick.
Yorick enjoys it, yeah.
Yeah, even your Wukong is pretty good. The two carries are very squishy, so I don't know how much value they're going to get out of that. Probably just going to get burst down before they do much with it. As the Rift Heralds.
Double TPs to try to defend this.
Oh, nice. Driving here from Sharvel, but he is going to get knocked up. Immediately jumps in the air, and now Nongshim are totally in a rough spot as Clozer is behind them. They take down one, they take down two, and Diable's trying to kite it out. As Ingo Sponge just trying to peel, but look at the health bars of Nongshim. Peter follows up for another kill. And it's 20 minutes in, DNS take a giant fight.
I mean,
Yeah, me too, Wolf.
Okay, no, he's fine.
No, he's not. No, maybe you can make that sound again. I think that's kind of what Nongshim are.
So, Kingen's had a great series, okay? The early Kled lane wasn't great, but he was able to defend right. Great in game 2. This double TP to Ghoulie Wall play, first of all, it doesn't even work. And then they just full send it into this Rakan again. How is this Rakan getting so much value? The Equalizer comes down. And Diable is just so far behind. Where's the damage? There isn't any damage. Then their whole game plan is, we're going to put a Ghoulie Wall up, and we're going to commit a double TP. Now you lost 2 TPs, and you lost 5 people. You lost the game, and it's back-to-back wins, it looks like, here for DNS. Now, they haven't won the game yet, technically speaking, but I think effectively this game just ended.
And Sharvel, what he said, if I heard that correctly, was that is the level of a Worlds finalist bottom lane. So, really cool stuff as they get the shout out as well. And this fight is just a wash. I mean, Diable's frontlining as everybody kind of jumps into Yorick and Syndra. Not the best in terms of execution, but it might just work as they're hand-fisting it big time. deokdam looking for the pent-up with the knockback from Scout. Will deny it for now. And Nongshim, it looks like their backs are broken at this point. DNS have a huge snowball going.
Man, Peter, I think I might have to vote for him, Valdes. He's had such a good game.
I think you have to anyway, just to make up for not voting for him in Catch Back Up. deokdam, okay, nice little play here by Scout.
deokdam's laughing it off. It's his first death of the game.
It's 1,080 gold though.
It is a big deal. 23.5 minutes in, or 22.5 minutes in. Peter is 100% kill participation this game on this Rakan. He had such a big responsibility in this game. and he is absolutely living up to it. Sharvel will deny Sponge the steal here, and so no soul point for Nongshim. And I mean, Sharvel knows what's going on. Like, deokdam, I think, is the vote that most people are looking at right now. Well, Peter, again, he's back here. Yes, it's a good play from Lehends to keep him out, but he traps Sponge. Sponge can't really get in with the team. So much damage is done before he can actually make that impact. The equalizer's hitting everybody. Sharvel's getting resets with deokdam setting him up. deokdam is just so fed. And Scout does deny him here and then deny him a second time. So denies his penta, then takes all his bounty gold.
Yeah, I mean, does he say anything here? No, just
red buff, baby.
Yep, he's going to feel good about that. Now DuDu by himself in the top lane. Not sure how this happens.
Not necessarily.
River, Sharvel is dead. 2 kills now for Nongshim. They're only 4,000 gold behind, guys. This is still a game.
I mean, it's 4.8. Okay. I mean,
rounded
my prediction
down.
talking, but I still think they're in a good spot. And a lot of people were nearby. You know, it's a good punish here. Mega Cone, getting them in there faster before the rest of DNS can show up. Sharvel's Mega Coning in response, and then it finds out he didn't really want to do that. Doesn't really have time to flash away. I think he had a small window there, but doesn't want to use his flash. They're still ahead. There was no objective that anyone was fighting over right there. Small dip in the gold graph. I get it, production. I know you guys didn't predict DNS in this series, but I do think that if we see 1 or 2 more fights go this way, though, I mean, this is a really strong Yorick that actually still has a gold lead in this game. The shutdown went over to Scout. He's pretty big, too, and, you know, they can team fight. The scaling late game AD carry of Diable has been a bit sleepy this game. He's 4,000 gold behind, but he might get there if given enough resources. And maybe if they can deny a Peter engage, maybe they just don't lock Diable down. He just ricochets his way to turning this game around. I see what you're putting down, Valdes.
Yeah, I'm definitely putting that down. And, I mean, Diablo's 3 items. He's becoming a champion here. He's still very far behind as, yeah, we just had that finish on, it looks like the GA.
Yes.
Yeah, of deokdam. So, goes for that. Had the crit cloak. I thought maybe you're going to see some penetration, but not going to happen just yet. And Nongshim, I mean, now they're playing like they've got a real shot here. And
it's
they really do.
Fight.
As Peter's going to go in, it's not as clean of an engage as we've seen so far, as Clozer is dead! And DuDu TP's in just to get exhausted, and he's on the run. deokdam's like, uh-oh, I gotta get out of here. That's Wukong. That's really scary. The engage from Lehends is big, but the follow-up is weak. They are going to get a couple at least, and the stun comes in onto deokdam.
He's going to die.
He is dead, and the push is happening in mid. Sharvel has to try to end it. Does pick up one. Nearly gets another as the plant saves Scout's life.
And Clozer is up in 20 here with no ultimate. Diable is a Sivir. They have so much damage. Let's see if they decide to actually full send it here. He doesn't have enough damage to actually break through. In fact, they're even going to leave this inhibitor turret up. But why is Clozer is learning what Cyclone does in real time in this engage? Sponge is right there. He's literally right there. He was right on top of that back line. And deokdam uses his ult here to avoid that really well-placed scatter. So now he's just like, I don't know if I can really do much here. Then Lehends gets the massive knock-up. And deokdam's like, I'm fed. It's fine. I've got GA. But Scout is just so massive that he's like, you're half health. And now you're at 0 health. Watch me do it again, by the way. And Sharvel saves the game here. Maybe he does not actually get that kill. I think they probably do, in fact, just end. He almost gets Scout as well. So it was a great call from him in that really tense moment. And now that lead for DNS is basically dead in the water. Production, this is not that bro game kind of. We don't need to do that again. You know, we don't need to show that again.
I think it's okay.
That, you know,
it happened so much quicker than the bro game too. Like that one was a slow and steady burn, and obviously a big throw in the moment in the base. But yeah, this is turned around so quickly. My head is still spinning.
Peter, no flash, but he's got his ult.
Nongshim are in the pit. I mean, they have to be careful. DNS are still. This is still an even game. You still have to position correctly, but everybody's burning to the equalizer. As now, trying to get in the pit here as Sharvel gets in and steals the Baron away! As a traded mid laner plunged in a bit of trouble. They're looking for Diable. He's the main character, and he should go down here to Sharvel as he does hit the deck. And DNS are not out of it yet.
No, it's a crazy steal from Sharvel on the Mega Cone. Comes in for the angle of surprise, gets the burst and the smite, and down goes the Baron. And with deokdam still alive here, they are going to try to push to end this. Death timers are so long. Nobody's alive here for Nongshim. And I think they have enough here to push this through. Going to clear this wave. 20 seconds on Diable. 15 on Scout. Scout has no ultimate, but it's going to actually come up right before he gets response. But I just don't think they can defend. There's just too much damage. Here comes Lehends.
Yeah, just going to get zoned away. And it was a roller coaster ride. But it looks like the game should end here. Trying to auto the Nexus. They're trying to auto the Nexus, Wolf. Peter's trying to auto the Nexus. And a TP comes in, and Clozer ends the game. DNS have a lot of fun with it. They send their fans on a very nice roller coaster ride, but they still win the game.